Howdy folks, this is Father Dougal 9000 here, and welcome to another episode of Game Finish Trios, a series where I talk about the games I've played and beaten as part of the Game Finish Challenge off of the Hardcore Gaming 101 forum. I only just noticed before I started recording that I often tend to bounce back and forth between different eras of gaming. Like sometimes I'll focus on just playing one or two systems at the moment, but even then there's still a fair bit of variety in the things that I play, and oftentimes when these games originally came out. I like wandering into things, sometimes more the old stuff than the new, but either way I just wander into them because I think they'd just be cool and interesting to me. And I hope that makes the videos a bit more cool and interesting as a result. Hell, maybe you found something you want to play or ended up playing because you heard about it in one of these videos, which would be quite cool. I have said that word too many times, dear. Well, anyway, I hope some of these games that I talk about today will pique your interest too. Today's games were originally logged from the 22nd of January to the 7th of February 2022. Black Belt Challenge for the Game Boy Advance. This is a Game Boy Advance exclusive fighting game made by, no joke, Guerrilla Games of Killzone and Horizon fame. I had learned about this game some time ago since it was a Dutch video game, and I thought about covering it for Hardcore Gaming 101. Not done that yet, don't know if I will, but I will say for now that this is a pretty decent fighter. There's plenty of variety with the characters' playstyles, although some like Bingo and Starfighter, I didn't find them very fun to play at all. And the combat works well enough, even if I find it very basic. There's not a whole lot going on. The one thing that stood out to me though is how on every difficulty except the very hardest, opponents are not aggressive, not even vaguely. You can very easily use your special attacks to juggle your opponents over and over and over again until they go down, and they will not do a thing to break out of it. That did make playing through the arcade mode a bit of a slog, and I ended up listening to Top Gear compilation videos after a while just to give my brain something to think about while my hands carried away playing the game. On the upside, I like how the challenge mode you can also do gives you coins that unlock pieces of concept art. That's a pretty cool way of keeping folks playing and encouraging them to better learn how the game works. So, nothing special, but pretty cool for what it is. Speed Racer for the Nintendo DS. Yeah, why not? This pretty sweet racing game based on the Wachowskis' 2008 film based on the coolest 1960s anime. That's not a joke, I'm not memeing on you. The original Speed Racer anime is a little bit inept in execution at times, but it's got ambition for days. It is a cracking watch. I love it. I remember playing this game briefly years and years and years and years ago at a classmate's house. I thought it was quite cool, but I never had the chance or the thought to pick it up. Until Christmas, where I saw it at the local secondhand shop, the old CEX. I know that's not how it's pronounced, I'm not using the official pronunciation because it's not as funny. And decided to pick it up, along with a couple other obscure games that I hope to also beat and write about. I'm genuinely surprised at how much I enjoyed Speed Racer. Flying around big roller coaster tracks while making tight turns, doing cool flip tricks in the air, and knocking other drivers about with a well-timed spin. I suppose it's easy enough, until you get to the final batch of cops and really have to get good in order to win, but it just gelled with me. It's one of those games that I was always pumped to play, even if some tracks last a little bit too long, and the overall package is a little anemic. Seriously, I won the final tournament and the game didn't offer you anything. Not even a special "congratulations, you've beaten the game" screen or some credits. I do think this game should have been in development a bit longer, so they could have sorted that out and maybe added a couple more tracks, but oh dang, I'm just so chuffed to have finally played this and found that it's as awesome as I thought it might have been all the way back when I was 12. Heck yeah, Speed Racer for the DS. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion for the Xbox 360. Oblivion is a game I have played loads over the years, but I've never beaten the main quest line. I'd usually get a few missions in before I'd get stuck somewhere or just lost interest, and then gave up and just go round doing side quests or exploring the landscapes. For this attempt, I finally sat down and played through the entire main quest, fast traveling between locations if the game could do so, because I wanted to see if I could try and beat this in a somewhat speedy fashion. This especially helped when it came to the Allies for Burma quest, where you can choose, as I later discovered, it's totally optional, to visit all of the towns and clear nearby Oblivion gates in order to get extra soldiers for the major defense of Burma that takes up some of the game's climax. I did this while accompanied by my own custom soundtrack playing away on the Xbox 360 because the 360 lets you play whatever music you like. It's the coolest console for that alone. It was mainly made up, that soundtrack, of tunes from the TV series Robin of Sherwood and the Yasunori Mitsuda scored RPG Sugunai Atonement, as I really wanted to play a fantasy game with synth Celtic-ass music for once. It worked surprisingly well, fitting a lot of the locales and the general vibe of the game overall. Playing through the main quest, it was cool finally checking out more than a couple of Oblivion gates, and there's some decent design that goes into keeping the mandatory ones varied in terms of what you need to do to reach the end. There were a couple of odd scripting problems, like how the spies mission doesn't tell you where to find the second spy if you've only found the first one on their own, but it worked out fine once I looked up a walkthrough. Thank God for Elder Scrolls walkthroughs that acknowledge that, yeah, there are a bunch of things that can go wrong, either because of technical issues or because you've done things in an order that makes where you need to go next kind of confusing. So here's all the issues you might have tripped up, and here are the solutions. Heck yeah. I might try to play that Shivering Isles expansion because I've got the 5th anniversary edition that also threw in the Knights of the Nine expansion. I played the Knights of the Nine one ages ago, it's quite good. Maybe I'll try Shivering Isles. Who knows? Well, it's been 2 years, so I do know I didn't really play it. That's me being a bit of a silly sausage and getting distracted, but, you know, that's alright too. And with that, we've wrapped up another episode of the series. Indeed. I hope that you enjoyed watching, and that you'll tune in for the next video. Thank you so much, and until we meet again, have a wonderful day.